We've all heard the story of the hyper-frugal tech founder. The media loves to remind us that guys like Bill Gates, with endless billions at their disposal, still choose to wear cheap watches. We look at that and assume true wealth whispers. We think these geniuses are simply too grounded or too busy writing code to care about luxury status symbols. That rule has hit a massive, glaring contradiction. Mark Zuckerberg recently traded his signature laid-back hoodie aesthetic for a handcrafted $900,000 luxury watch. It forces us to ask a question. When a person has infinite resources, is a $50 watch a sign of genuine humility, or is it a calculated public relations move? To understand image management at this level, look at Elon Musk. He wears a $6,000 Omega watch. For a man worth $250 billion, spending $6,000 is a rounding error. Musk utilizes the Omega as a working engineer's uniform, a choice that builds trust through perceived relatability. Jeff Bezos follows a similar playbook. He has the capital to commission any custom timepiece on Earth, yet he chooses a $7,400 Omega Speedmaster. That specific model went to the moon on the Apollo missions. By wearing it, Bezos co-opts a historical legacy, acquiring a cultural prestige that his infinite money cannot directly buy. Contrast this tech-era camouflage with Warren Buffett. His public persona is the frugal grandpa who lives in a modest house and eats McDonald's for breakfast. But his wrist reveals the limits of the act. He wears an 18-karat gold Rolex day-date, the historical standard of global power. Then you have the tech founders who skip the PR angle entirely. Steve Jobs wore a $180 Seiko, driven by a well-documented hatred for design clutter. Bill Gates' $50 Casio Duro represents a similar philosophy. It's the ultimate optimization for pure function. The math is brutal. A luxury watch needs an $800 service every few years. The Casio needs a $5 battery. In escaping material constraints, Jobs and Gates inadvertently turned the cheap watch into the ultimate Silicon Valley status symbol. For this specific crowd, the $50 Casio signals an intellectual superiority that outranks traditional luxury. There is exactly one billionaire whose cheap watch was neither a PR stunt nor an intellectual flex. Chuck Feeney wore a $20 Casio F91W. Feeney used that watch and his economy-class flights as a camouflage strategy to remain unrecognized while he secretly gave away his entire $8 billion fortune. While other billionaires hire public relations teams to broadcast their charity, Feeney used his watch to successfully die nearly broke by choice. Which brings us back to Mark Zuckerberg and that $900,000 piece of handcrafted art. His choice proves that the era of the humble billionaire was a temporary cultural phase. The modern tech founder is finally comfortable with extreme wealth and no longer forced to perform the regular guy programmer routine. After a decade of hiding behind generic hoodies while building a global empire, Zuckerberg's shift to high-end horology aligns his public image with his actual tax bracket. By dropping the relatable facade, he has finally become authentic to his position. A watch on a billionaire's wrist is a meticulously chosen costume. The desire for validation doesn't disappear when you make $1 billion. It just becomes radically more sophisticated.